Hi teachers! This is the second screencast in our Little Bird Tales series, and this screencast will focus on teaching you to manage your classes and import students. So, first we will go to Manage Classes, click on that orange button, and I'm going to say Add a Class to this orange link. Well, I guess I should enter the name first, shouldn't I? We're going to title it Johnson 2013 Test. And I'll hit Save. See the loading button? That lets you know that it was done. And the website lets you know it was successful by saying the class was successfully created. Then I will click on the orange Johnson 2013 Test class name. Click on that, and it'll bring me to my class manager page. Notice that this class detail page is empty, and that's because we need to enter students. So to get started, we'll click on Add Student, and you can see here you could enter the student's first and last name, give them a username and a password. But doing it one student at a time would be really time consuming. So luckily there's another option for that. I can go back to the home page and I can say import students. Here you'll see that they have very specific instructions for importing your students, and that's because in order for the website to correctly assign usernames and passwords to students in the correct class, you have to use an Excel document, and it has to be done in this manner. So we're going to walk through that together. So first I'm going to open up Microsoft Excel, and I'm going to open an Excel workbook. Then I'm going to lower my workbook so I can look at the instructions as I fill out my worksheet. Here in column A, I'm going to type exactly what I see here in the example. I'm going to type first underscore name. Column B will be last underscore name. Column C will be username. Column D will be password. Column E will be class underscore name. Then I'm going to enter my students' names. So let's say I have a student named Alex Jones. We'll enter Alex for first name, Jones for last name, and then say I have a child named Kate James. We'll enter Kate James, and another student named Jack Smith. So I'll enter all my students' names just like that. First names in the first name column, last names in the last name column, and then we'll make usernames. The easiest thing for our young students to remember is their first initial and their last name. So it'll be A. Jones for Alex Jones. Kate James will be K. James. Jack Smith will be J. Smith. And these usernames are what they'll enter on the Little Bird Tales homepage when they want to log in. Then we can make their passwords all the same. So I'm going to use something simple like I did for Mrs. Jackson's class this year, and I will enter 1, 2, 3. And I'll do that for every single one of my students. And every student in every class can have the same password. It's totally fine. Then I'm going to tell Little Bird Tales which class I want these names imported into. So I'll type Johnson 2013 Test so that it knows to put them into that class. And I will copy that and paste it into class name next to each child. Once I'm done entering usernames, passwords, class names, the student names, I will want to save my Excel document. And this part is also extremely important. You'll notice that there are two formats that Little Bird Tales accepts. They like the .csv file version or the .xls version. So that means you may have to change something when you are saving it. So come up to File in Excel, click on Save or Save As. We will give our workbook a title. It'll be Little Bird Tales Class Names. I'm going to save mine to the desktop. And then notice that my format is currently incorrect. It's a .xlsx format. And that is not one of the two formats that's supported by Little Bird Tales. So in order for my document to be uploaded, I'm going to change my format to either .xls or .csv. I'm going to go with .xls. And then I'll click the blue Save button, and I can close my Excel document. Then I'll come back to my web browser, and I'll scroll down, and I will see two buttons. And to import my students, I'll click the orange Import Students button. It'll bring up a box to choose my file from. I know that I saved it to the desktop, and that I saved it as LBT class names. So I'll select that and I'll open it. And there we go. It says that my students' names were imported. So to check this, I can go to Manage Classes. And I see the class that I created, Johnson 2013 Test. I can click on that orange link, and there are my student names. Now, you'll notice that this username did not go in as what we typed, J. Smith. So we're going to edit it. J. Smith. Save. And it looks like somebody already has that name. So we can come up with something else. We could try J. Smith 2. That worked. So now you've got all your students with their usernames and passwords. And as you now know, you can click on the Edit button to change the username or a password in case it doesn't match with the formula that you wanted. You can review students from here. If they had created a tale or completed an assignment, you'd be able to see it here. Then we will go back to our class details. And this is where you would remove students. So say you do a bunch of assignments with your kids during the 2013-2014 year, and you know that you want to do those assignments with your next class, or that you want to import new students, and you don't want these kids in the class anymore, so you can hit remove, and it'll remove the students from your class page, but it won't delete them from Little Bird Tales. So they could still be able to log in using their password and username and see their stories, but they won't be able to view anything that's going on in your 2014-2015 class on your class page. I don't actually want to delete them, so I'm going to hit cancel. On this page, you see teacher actions. You can print student cards. This is a file that you want to download and keep. It's a PDF file. Once it's done downloading, you'll double click it to open it, and you'll see a card for each student. It shows you their name, their username, their password, and then the school code, which they would enter on the login page before they hit go, so that they would be able to access the assignments that you create for your class. You can send these cards home. You can keep them at school. You can print 2 sets, one for school and one for home, so that the kids can work in both places. It's pretty handy. You can also view your class page. As you can see, we haven't added anything yet, but I can show you what it would look like through a class that already has stories on their class page. Go back to class details. You also have the option to edit that class page, but we'll look at that in a second. This is important to look at, the class options. We do not want the students to make their tales public because of safety rules and privacy issues. Some parents don't want their students' pictures on the internet available to all eyes, so we want to keep our tales private. So we say no, they can't make them public. We want to say yes, they can share them via email because you want them to be able to send you the link as a backup in case something goes wrong in here with their username or password. They also might want to send their stories to their family members, and so being able to share tales via email is a great option to have. You want to change who can view the class page to my students and I, because you want students, well, at least for the assignment that I've been working on, I want all of the students in Miss Jackson's class to be able to see each other's work. I don't ever want to select everyone because of the same privacy and safety issues that accompany the public tales. If you're doing an assignment that is specialized to each student and you don't want them to be able to view each other's work, then you can say only you can view the class page, and then your students will not be able to see each other's work. So then we'll go back to our home button, and we will end this segment here, and we'll cover my assignments in our next screencast.